All right, so I wanted to show everyone how to make a super easy trellis that's super inexpensive. Like, honestly, I don't think you can beat this trellis, in my opinion. This is something that I did at my old house when I was renting still, and I was able to do it for under $25 for the whole kit and caboodle. It was 15 feet long. It's almost 5 feet high. There's a little bit of line at the bottom because my husband he nailed the T-post down farther than a foot. So if he had only done a foot, they were originally 6 feet. If he had only done a foot, it would have been right at 5 feet, but he did a little bit more than that. So we have some slack down there at the bottom. But anywho, point being is that for almost 5 feet high and definitely 15 feet across, I was able to build this for under $25, and I think that's very inexpensive in my opinion. And I had this at my old house for 3 growing seasons, and then so we did it for 2020, 2021, 2022. And then 2023, we had bought this house, and I didn't do any beans or anything. I didn't need a trellis, so I didn't grow anything last year. But for that time that it was there, it held up for 3 growing seasons with no issue. It wasn't even in decline. I think we did have to fix the tension on it at the beginning of the season, which my husband did. But other than that, it held up to the test of time. So I tried to do this earlier, and I couldn't figure out how to flip my phone to face forward. So it was annoying me, but I'm just going to try my best to film this the way I have it. So right now I've got my beans growing. I got black beans. I've got asparagus beans, or they're also called yard-long green beans. I've got a few different types of cucumbers. I've got 2 types of slicing cucumbers. I've got a type of pickling cucumber. And then over here is going, I don't know if I can see, over here is going to be peas. I don't know if you can see it on here, but we do have some sprouts coming up for the things that we planted. It's Monday right now. It's March 25th. And we planted these last Tuesday, so it's been 6 days. I'm already getting germination out of everything, so I'm super excited about that. So the way we built this, anyways, back to the trellis, the way we built this was at Tractor Supply. We were able to get these T-posts for $5 and some change. I can't remember, I think they were like $5.29, if I'm not mistaken. They were 6 feet, 6 foot long T-posts. We got 3 of them, so let's just round it up after tax to $6. And then I got the actual net, the 5x15 net, for also $5 and some change. We'll round that up to $6. So $6 times 4 items that all cost $6, $24, and that would have been after tax. So under $25. And like I said, I got 3 growing seasons out of it last time. I grew the yard-long beans and the cucumbers, and it held up great. What we did was we had some blue wire sitting around, so we did, for extra sturdiness on the top, we did wire, just kind of weave it in between the little slots here. We weaved it in and tied it from one post, circled it around the middle post, and tied it to the end post. And then we also weaved the netting through, or the T-post through the netting as well. And then he used the wire on a couple of these to kind of get some tension. He's going to have to fix the tension on these, but if you don't have wire, you can use twine. You can get it, a whole roll of twine, for probably like $3, I think, to do the same exact thing that he did with the wire. And then you can use zip ties to just kind of tie it to the T-post all the way down. They do have these little bumps on them. I'm not sure what they're for. I'm sure it has to do with fencing, but to kind of hold the zip ties in place, so as your plants get heavier and it pulls on the netting, your netting will stay in place. And he's going to have to tighten up this end right here because it is a little slack, and he'll do that with the zip ties on this side to make it a little bit tighter. So that is something that I have had experience with that has been very successful for me. Very easy to do. My husband did the pounding of the T-post into the ground. If he trusted me with the mallet, I'm sure that I could have done it myself, but he did. That was the only part that he did. And he did help me weave the stuff in, just because it's a little bit of a pain in the butt when you're first trying to figure out how to get the net on. But once you get the hang of it, it's very smooth sailing from there. So it lasts a long time, very, very inexpensive. And I know some people will tell you you can get cheap trellises just by, like, you know, if your neighbor's throwing out their dog kennel and blah, 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 blah. But sometimes you don't want another man's trash for your own treasure. I'm one of those people. I don't like that. So that is something that, you know, I was able to get that looks semi-decent. It looks really nice once the plants are all growing on it and it's all filled out. Really, you couldn't really see the trellis under all the plants when I had it previously at my old house. And it looked really pretty. And it was actually kind of like, I didn't have a privacy fence at my old house. So it was a nice little like privacy area that I created with my cucumbers and my beans. You know, and I was actually also able to use it. I didn't have any shade at my old house. So I was also kind of able to use the beans and the cucumbers to kind of shade out some of my other plants a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. And I will tell you, if you've never grown asparagus beans or the yard-long green beans and you have had a hard time growing and you just need a confidence boost, grow those, because they are such easy keepers. Like, literally, they were growing in my crappy topsoil manure compost mixture that I had that was absolutely horrible. And they grew in there and they thrived. And I got so many yard-long green beans out of it. And really, as long as you're picking them, I picked them when they're like in between 18 and 24 inches long. They really do get to be a yard long or longer. They really get to be over 3 feet if you don't pick them. But then they start drying out and the seeds get hard. But anyways, if you keep picking them and don't let them get to over 3 feet, they will keep producing and producing and producing. The sun didn't bother it. My inconsistent watering didn't bother it. The heat didn't bother it. Like, the crappy soil didn't bother it. Lack of nutrients didn't bother it. Like, they are indestructible. If anything ever happens and the end of the world is going to come, the asparagus green beans are going to make it through. I promise you. So definitely get you a cheap trellis, easy to make, and get you some yard-long green beans. All right, bye.